Raised Rowdy.
Welcome to the Raised Rowdy podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Kurt.
I come here all the time, so it's good. Thank you. My name is Kurt Ozan, and my handsome, nice podcast co-host is Nick Tressler.
Yay. And welcome to our podcast, your first official headphones on podcast.
Exactly. First one.
And why don't you introduce yourself? We know that you guys are brother Elsey, but tell me your guys' first and last names. You guys look like you're brothers. Is that true?
This is true.
We are.
Look at that, dude.
I know.
We are.
That's where it came from, I guess. Huh?
It is. It sure is. It made it easy for us.
Yeah.
My name's Brady.
And I'm Jack. Our last name's Stablein.
Both of the boys.
Both of the boys. We actually have three brothers in the band.
What a blessing.
And one cousin,
And-
right?
Yeah, well, you know,
might as well be.
we say that on stage. We say he's our brother, but if anyone asks, we'll tell them the truth that he's actually our best friend from college.
Oh, yeah.
But he looks just like us, so it just
Yeah.
makes
Why did
it
I think
easier.
he was a cousin?
He looks like
He does. He looks like he's related. He might be related somewhere
you
down
never
the
know.
ligness, but
Yeah.
you know.
Third cousin
Who knows?
once removed or
Yeah.
something. Maybe your dad's out there doing some crazy work and you don't know about it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
he put,
I
his,
guess we're
he
gonna
put the
find
time
out.
in, you know? Put the time in.
Yeah.
Just kidding, parents. We love you very much.
Love you, Dad.
Yeah.
My dad
And
told me
mom.
this story. This is probably something I shouldn't say on the podcast, but
All
I'm
right,
gonna
let's
anyway.
go with it.
He's like, hey, so you might have a sister. I'm like, yeah, Lori, I know. And he's like, no. Like when I went on my first active duty to the military, I was like dating a girl and she said she was pregnant like right before I left. And when I got back, I couldn't find her. So I might have like a 50-something-year-old sister out there in the wild somewhere.
That'd be sick. You got to
Or
do
maybe
the
not.
23andMe thing.
Yeah.
That's honestly, you know, it's a good way
crazy.
to find him if
Yeah.
you really want another sibling. But
Female Nick Tressler. Wow.
Oh, bro.
I could see it now.
Yeah, she would be such a hoe. Oh, man. I'm definitely getting canceled again.
Again. Third time's a charm.
yeah,
Well, guys, thanks for being on the pod with us.
Of course.
This is already going great.
Yeah.
I'm saying dumb stuff already.
it's perfect.
This is what I needed for my first time.
Yeah.
I needed a little. I need raised rowdy. I like to be
Yeah,
rowdy. So.
yeah.
Exactly.
We're like fun and gentle and nice and like we just love music.
Yeah.
So I'm just like a lifelong music fan that now somehow gets to do stuff like this. And then Kurt's like a rock star. So
That's
It's
amazing.
a great combo.
It's awesome.
But it's an honor to have you guys on. You guys fucking rock.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You know, we get emails about music, just people we don't know, like kind of like, I guess you call it cold emailing us, like, hey,
Pitching.
check this out. And so Nick sent me one of your songs, and I just hit play on YouTube, and like after the first chorus, I was like, yep, let's
Yep.
do this.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Rock,
Dude,
man.
your guys sounds amazing.
Thank
and
you.
it's very different for like the Nashville scene. It
Yeah.
sounds familiar, but it doesn't sound like everything else, which I think is awesome.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
really appreciate that. I think, you know, coming from the Midwest, it's a little bit of a different vibe. And moving here, it kind of, you know, you get influenced by different people, but I feel like we've kind of stayed in our lane in a way.
Yeah.
And we just appreciate you guys even taking a listen to us in the first place. You know,
man.
it means the world. Seriously. Yeah.
It's super good, and that's like Kurt said. We do get a lot of stuff across our desk, but
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Which is a huge honor.
Yes,
and it's
amazing.
Great.
Yeah,
yeah.
That people even want to come talk to us, which is super cool.
It's
Yeah.
awesome, man. It's
but
awesome.
you guys sonically, I mean, very much stick out, and that's one of the things I talk about when it's like, what's going to work?
Yeah.
Is do you have a distinct sound that sounds like you? Like when you're getting heard on a playlist or hopefully eventually the radio,
Yeah.
do you know exactly who it is as soon as you guys hear it? And it's absolutely that with you guys.
That's
Oh, that's
amazing.
amazing, man.
I think that honestly is a problem for us in some ways sometimes because it's like the industry is so like you're just watching everyone do their own thing that might sound similar in a whole genre of music, and you know we've been recording for like the last year and a half, and you're so close to it. It's our own sound, and I'm like, does this fucking suck?
Yeah.
No.
Does
Does
even
this like what? It doesn't sound like I don't even know now. You know, like
Yeah.
But it's very nice to hear that you know
I
other
think
people kind of see through that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we kind of, I would say, struggled with trying to figure out what we're supposed to sound like, and I think a lot of artists have that struggle in a way. But I think with this last round of music that we just finished making, it's like we decided, like, who cares,
Yeah.
like what we're supposed to sound like.
Yep.
Let's just make the best version of what we are, and if people can, you know, get accustomed to it and fall in love with it, then we're doing something right in a way. So.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. And I mean, the internet algorithm shows me a lot of new music, but it also shows me a lot of people talking about music.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it knows who I am as a person now.
Yeah.
The robots got me.
Yeah.
So, one of the things you hear all the time is like, if you're making music to fit a trend, it's not going to work. If you're making music because it's what lives inside of you and it's what you're supposed to put out, that's what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, and I think we're just so duped these days with social media in general. Like you just get so clouded. Your vision gets so clouded with what people are doing and what's working.
Yeah.
And things move so quickly within the music industry. By the time you even try to hop on some sort of fad within music, it's already long gone by the time it's out. You know?
Yeah, because the process takes so long, you know, getting a song that you love and then figuring out how you want to present it and then getting that recorded and then figuring out when to put it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so much to navigate. Like you don't like and I honestly think the only way through it is just to be yourself as much as you can, you know, and make the best stuff you know how to.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
Or try to at least, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's get in and kind of break down what y'all are doing. Maybe there's some people that are listening that haven't checked you guys out that are just putting this on, you know, because they know our podcast. So how would you guys describe your sound and your influences?
So I think the first thing we always say to people, which is something that we're trying to steer away from a little bit, but if you were to take Mumford and Sons and Kings of Leon and just sort
100%.
of mix those two things together,
A little Bruce Springsteen in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the Eagles are a huge influence as well with the harmonies and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a culmination of all those different things of us just kind of growing up around, you know, like that late 70s sort of folk, you know, the
Americana rock
the
stuff.
California Americana sort of stuff. And then you get into, our grandfather was in a country band for our entire lives. And so we grew up around a lot of like 90s country primarily. And then also a lot of like the outlaw stuff from way back in the day. And so that kind of influenced us at a young age. But moving in, like in the Midwest, there's a lot of like rock music, indie music.
Angst as they say.
So that,
like the Midwestern emo scene.
Exactly.
Also.
So
which was like pop punk for us growing up.
Is in Ohio.
Yeah, exactly.
We just saw Lit last night at Whiskey Jam.
So great.
But that's a huge part of like our upbringing, right? So I think that has a bit of an influence. It doesn't really come through that much within our music, but we still grew up playing those songs. And,
I would say
those things.
I don't hear a lot of emo, but I definitely hear like rock.
Right.
You know, it's so like radio friendly rock is what it is.
Yeah.
100%.
And honestly, like, and I'm here for it because I'm a rock guy originally.
Awesome.
The rock genre is starting to have a resurgence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's super cool to see that happen. And now get to be here in Nashville and get to see that like overlap with what's happening here.
It's crazy.
So awesome.
I mean, we were, like I said, at Whiskey Jam last night. We saw a band called Lakeview. Who I think is having a big moment right now.
Yes.
But talk about the perfect mix between country and like that sort of hardcore, like Midwest hardcore stuff. It's just like that's what's kind of popping off right now, you know, especially here. But
Jesse and Luke are buddies of ours. They're actually, I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
And
Nice.
so are they. Like they're both, we're in like rock bands in Pittsburgh.
well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's like
cool
Rust
sound.
Belt kind of vibe. Like,
It's
it's,
blue collar, rock and roll country.
Totally.
You know, it's like, it's a mix of those.
It's great.
And it's super cool to watch them like kind of find their lane too. You know? And I think that's important for every artist, like figuring out, okay, what am I supposed to sound like?
Yeah.
What do I want to sound like?
Yeah.
And then kind of figuring out the right mix of that. I think they are doing a great job of it, but I think you guys are too.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're all trying our best out
Yeah.
here, you know. And I think the people that are trying their best to be honest with who they are the ones that are going to shine through eventually.
Yeah.
You know, it might take a little while for some people, but it's just a process that everyone has to go through.
And I also think it's like it's doing the wrong thing so many times to figure out, okay, like we're trying to get away from this thing that is ultimately just innately us, you know, and then always coming back to that. Like, I think that if we don't have harmonies in a song, we've missed an opportunity because we just sing together all the time. That's kind of our thing. And it's just something that we need to focus on because when we're singing, we're the best at music in general, and we're having the most fun, and like the song is better that way, you know. And so I just feel like we've been doing this for probably together with, you know, us three, like forever. And
The three brothers.
Three brothers. We've tried everything under the sun, you know, and it's ultimately it's like, let's go get a guitar and sing somewhere, you know, and that's
all
kind of
it is.
what it is.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what we started doing. We actually started busking on the street corner. Our dad worked in a town called Royal Oak, Michigan.
Yeah.
And on Saturdays he'd go into work at his office and we'd just take the guitars that he got us for Christmas and just walk down the street and just start singing songs together. And we sounded terrible, but it kind of, that's like what we, you know, we've done all these different iterations of what maybe, you know, what we could be. And then coming back to it now, it's like, okay, that's what we're good at. You know, there's no reason to add more than what's actually needed, right?
So have you all like been like a death metal band and like a bluegrass band and
you know,
like jazz band or like what?
I don't think we're smart enough for bluegrass or jazz, but but definitely like harder stuff. Like we were talking about the emo stuff in the Midwest. We were,
cool.
you know, in like middle school, high school, just like dabbling around that. And then
like what emo bands were y'all into?
Well,
I just went and saw the Almost and Emery play earlier this year.
Okay.
And it was
Nice.
like, hell yeah.
We like when we were into it, it was like Fall Out Boy was giant.
Yeah.
We were listening to like Seosin, which was like you know, a giant band. I mean,
The Used was huge.
The Used,
and then like A Day to Remember when we were in
massive
high
in
school.
high
was
school.
massive. Yeah. Angels and Airwaves too, I think was like a big.
That's like the Blink kind of
Yeah.
Exactly. But that was like what we were sort of. Mayday Parade as well.
Yes.
Yeah, like that sort of stuff.
But you know, it wasn't always just that. So we were listening to that, and then also we've always had like this like we love like soft music, like emotional, well written songs that are just like very. We call it magic. So we would be listening to that, but also it's like Never Say Never was a giant band back then. It was like just like acoustic, like sad, stupid songs, and then
Never Shout Never.
Never Shout Never. Sorry.
Or like
You're
Dashboard Vibes or something?
Dashboard
like
Vibes,
that,
exactly.
okay.
Yep.
But then our dad would be playing, you know, Bruce in the Car or 50 Cent or like it just was a culmination of everything. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And then, you know, we'd see Grant or Papa, we call him, and it'd be just straight country music all the time. So.
Yeah, so we tried all those different things out, I guess, before we landed on what we're at right now.
Yeah. What's your guys' age gap between each of you?
So I'm 27.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 29.
So we're and then I've got a twin brother who's the other brother.
Yep.
And then Dalton is a month younger than we are. He's 27 as well.
Crazy.
So we're like, I mean, the three of us are pretty much triplets. We grew up so close with each other.
Yeah.
Because we're so close in age, you know, it just sort of worked out that we would just hang out with each other as children. Because our mom would force us to hang out all the time.
Of course. Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Dalton is so close in age, and, you know, it's like he's the fourth one. Just easy. It's easy, you know.
It's so great.
Yeah.
And probably amazing when you guys are on the road and stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
You know?
Man, I want to be in a rock band.
Yeah.
This makes me want to be in a rock band so bad right now.
It's fun, but I think the band thing is a little less lucrative in a way, you know.
Yeah.
It kind of, instead of having one artist get out at the whole pot, you know, we got to split everything up. But it's good because I actually was listening to Flatland Cavalry on this podcast.
Yeah.
And they had a really good quote, and it's kind of weird if I'm saying the same quote, but I'm going to say it anyways. They said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
And I think that is a huge thing that kind of, you know.
So I wouldn't be
Something that
doing
we've
it
always
without
thought.
them, you know.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He's such a
man.
poet.
I'm
Yeah,
sure maybe
seriously.
Jason said that. Who knows? They're both great.
They're both great.
Yeah, either
Love
way.
that band, man.
Yeah.
It's so true though, and I love that bands are coming back, you know, and they're like mixing into the country scene now, because for so long, you know, it was just the artist and then, you know, interchangeable parts behind it.
Yeah.
You know, but some people weren't interchangeable. But
Hello, I'm the interchangeable part. Luke, don't fire me, please.
It's funny, man.
but it's cool to see like these bands coming back and like starting to bubble up, and
Yeah.
you know, you've seen that kind of like in the Texas scene for a while,
For sure.
but now it's going from there to all over, which
Yeah,
I
it's good.
absolutely love to see.
It's great. It's exciting for us, you
Yeah.
know, as people that have been in bands for our entire lives, you know.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to
And-
ride that wave a little bit.
For us, like we can be honest with now everyone. Like Dalton was, you know, a new member and like a friend at first, and we just love jamming together and all these things. But now he's practically, you know, a brother. He's been together, you know, with us for like 10 years, but we can say whatever really to each other, and even if it's like the worst fucking thing, you know, like
For example. I'm just
yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, but
just hard
it's
truths.
honest, right?
truths.
And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
we've had other people in bands before, like when we were kids or through high school and in early college. But you can't really have that complete honesty, or if you are, there's animosity in some way. And, you know, it's like we bicker for, you know, an hour and then scream at each other. And then 5 minutes later, like, Chipotle for lunch?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I think a good example is we were in Toronto and we just played a show at the Horseshoe Tavern, which is an amazing, legendary venue there. It was a great time.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect night until everyone got a little bit too drunk.
Yeah, the sauce sometimes.
The sauce, right?
Yeah.
Shame.
I would never.
yeah. How
Not
dare
last
us?
night.
Yeah.
Dalton and Jack are screaming at each other in the middle of this bar, and it was it was almost like they were about to throw hands at each other. But at the end of the night, they hugged each other, said "I love you."
Yeah.
The next day, laughing, joking like nothing
Yes.
happened, and everything's all
Back
good.
to it.
Yeah.
They worked through whatever tension there was in that moment. They weren't afraid to say what they needed to say to each other, and they worked through it. You know.
Yes.
And we're
Yeah.
very lucky because we get to do that with each
Yes.
other. You know.
Yeah. Dude, that's brothers. And
Totally.
That's me and my older brothers. Me and my brother's 2 years older than me. Like, that's just how family is.
Exactly.
And if you can do that with the people that you're closest with, nothing's going to build up to the level where it's going to cause major problems.
For sure.
Because you get it out at the smaller level.
Exactly.
That's been our whole life. Our mom is like, she'll see a look on your face and be like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I don't, you know, at 14, I don't want to fucking talk about it, you know? Yeah, but
Nothing's wrong, Mom.
Nothing's
There's-
wrong.
there's
Nothing's
something.
wrong. And it's like,
Yeah.
finally you say, you're like, everything's good.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I don't know. It's just, you know, no one's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like Dalton, Brady, Bo, me, no one's going anywhere.
Right.
So it's like,
Got to work through it.
have to, you know?
And I think for a band, too, like, that's such an important thing to have because
Yeah.
you have to trust each other.
Yeah.
You have to know that everybody's bringing something to the table, and that means that everyone's opinion is an important piece of that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. I think there's, you know, when making this last project, we had this idea of everyone gets a say, even with the songwriting process. Normally, I write the song and then I'll bring it to the boys and we'll put it all together. And they'll have the creative outlet through the music. But for this last, you know, few songs, we decided to sort of like, if there's a point in the song where it doesn't make sense, or it's like they were adding into the songwriting aspect of most of the songs too, which was, you know, a different way. But I think, you know, the four of us have an equal say in everything that we do, so might as well kind of translate that into what everything Brother Elsey does, and including the lyrics and stuff too. But yeah, it's a process. I think it's taken a long time for us to get all of it right with each other.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a really good spot right now. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it, man. It's super cool to hear. And honestly, like before we got pitched it, I'd like seen your guys' name, but I hadn't like dug in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like once I dug in, I'm like, oh, okay, this is good.
Let's
Awesome.
go.
And I remember like Kurt and I texting back and forth talking about it and like kind of like what we were hearing and, you know, that we thought it was cool and what it is.
That's just so cool, guys. Like it's crazy. You know, we're pretty new to town too, so it's just awesome to see people really paying attention.
Yeah.
You know? It's really nice.
How long have you guys been, like, when did you get here? And also, like, what part of Michigan are you from originally?
We're from Metro Detroit.
Okay.
We grew up in Rochester.
Like 30 minutes north. So
And then we moved here 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now we moved here. We kind of bounced around. We grew up in Rochester, lived in Detroit for a few years, like downtown, and then we moved over to Grand Rapids for about 3 years, and then from Grand Rapids moved down here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was it was like beginning of COVID,
Yeah.
and we're all just blacked out on our porch.
Yeah.
It was
Specifically him.
I mean, having a good time. You know?
Yeah, a phenomenal time. You know, we're we're all, you know, coexisting in one house.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Please,
right
dude.
now.
Break it up.
work
Break up.
I got the surf sides. We can
Yeah, bust him out. But Brady's just, you know, he's swaying a little bit, and it's me, Brady, Bo, and Dalton on the patio, and he looks at us. He goes, "We're moving to fucking Nashville in October, and I don't give a fuck what you guys say, but we're gone." You know,
Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
we didn't end up moving until December, but it happened.
Put it in the world, and usually it comes
Yeah.
back.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
We had kind of this realization, so we went to college in Detroit, and that's where we met Dalton. And then right after college, we were like, okay, we're in this band, and we need to make make a choice to grow this band further than where we can in Detroit, because we kind of had been playing shows for our entire lives, and we ended up just sort of spinning our wheels a little bit, because you get to a point where if you've been playing shows, we were playing since we were 14.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are like, oh, that's just their band that they've always been in. You know,
Yeah, like we were
whatever.
begging people to come to show. Like we have shout out Cody Group. He's like a Live Nation guy who was booking us like opening slots at like the Shelter, St. Andrews Hall when they were still in high school. Like they were like juniors.
I was like finishing up like finals or something
On his cell phone, like just like writing a paper.
Opening for whatever band was playing the Shelter that week. You know, we did that for a long time. And so we decided like, okay, we gotta do something. And we heard about Grand Rapids having a pretty good like Americana scene, a really good local music scene.
Yeah.
They really support the local musicians there. Or we were like, we could just go to Nashville and just try our luck and see what happens, you know. And I think we pretty much flipped the coin, and we were like, okay, we're moving to Grand Rapids. And
See how that goes.
Oh, it's
best town, dude.
It is the perfect city.
In the summertime, dude.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We loved it there.
That
It was
good beer too.
great.
Best beer.
That's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
But we decided after 3 years, we got comfortable there. You know, things were working pretty well for us in the Michigan markets in general. And we moved down here, and I don't think we realized until we were here for a little bit, like, okay, we're ready for this place now.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't ever ready before. As much as we wanted to, you know, talk ourselves into maybe at 22 moving down here and trying to see, or at 18 to move down here and see what happens. You know, I think at that moment in our lives a couple years ago, it was like perfect time for us to come and play. We had been playing so much with each other. Our chops were up enough to play the showcases that really mattered, and things have just sort of lined up because of us being in the right spot by the time we moved here, you know.
Y'all have a record deal? I probably should have
Yeah.
read this. Okay.
Yeah, we just signed with Riverhouse Artists, so
okay.
yeah, in September.
Yep.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I saw you on the, like, that's where I first like saw you guys was
Yeah.
on their graphics, and I was
Oh,
like,
awesome.
okay, who are these guys?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
They've been so great to us.
They're
And just
amazing.
like Lynn Oliver's the best.
Yes,
and
sweetheart.
such a supporter, and
Yeah.
she like
Loves music.
loves music, and
exactly.
she's, you know, let's grow this thing, you know, grassroots, and just kind of she's just behind us all the way, which is so
I was
awesome.
teaching her son guitar lessons.
Oh, nice,
amazing.
nice.
That is
Crazy.
so cool. Yeah, she's just you know, we met with her in the summer, maybe the spring of last year, and she's been friends with our manager for a long time in the industry, and he's like, we're gonna go meet with her and just see what happens. You know, we don't really know what the label thing's gonna look like, and we played a couple songs for her, and she was just like, she's like, we don't even need to talk anymore. Like, I'm ready to go right now with you guys. And we were just like,
Our management's like, well,
fucking
they need to go
serious?
through the process. And in our mind, we're like, fucking break it out. Like, get the pen, you know, like,
and we took a couple
we're
more.
just like never expected to be one here. I shouldn't say never expected, but didn't, you know, it's always been like this idea of like, how crazy would it be if we ever did?
Yeah.
So for it to happen, and then this quickly, since like moving to town, we were like, don't care, sign the paper.
But we took a couple more meetings and everything, and took our time with the process, and as much as our management wanted us to. But it was like, you know, we were getting texts and calls from Lynn like twice a week for 6 months until things were all worked out, you know. And
Yeah.
it was like she was super excited, and she, I mean, obviously still is very excited about us, and just it's just a really really amazing experience so far. So
It's crazy, like being in a band. Like I had my own bands in high school and everything.
Yeah.
And I knew maybe like one band in my hometown that like had a record deal. Like I didn't know anyone that worked in a record deal. I didn't know any publicist or anything. Now it's like all these people I know are like in bands with record deals. It's like so sick.
Welcome to Nashville.
Yeah,
I know.
dude, that was crazy. I love it here.
It is wild, man. It's completely changed our lives, and like, when I first moved here, you know, you'd meet someone random like at the bar or something, and just meeting that person, then being like, yeah, I'm signed to Warner or whatever, just randomly playing pool, and it's like, people in Detroit or like Grand Rapids would be like, what the fuck do you mean you're signed to Warner? You know, like,
so
it's just like another guy.
like, you're signed to fucking
Yeah.
Warner.
I'd be like, dude, this guy's fucking signed to Warner. Right here, you know, like,
It is crazy, and I always talk about. Kurt took me to have cigars one time, and
Sounds like something I would do.
yeah, very.
sounds amazing.
send the
let's
invite.
do it.
We love
Oh,
cigars.
bro, we're
Yeah.
cigar guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Amazing.
our thing.
Yeah.
But he took me, and at the time I was working at a record label, and we were there with a professional wrestler, Kurt, and then 2 guys that worked for like comics.com for a living. And I was like, bro, everyone here has like a fucking dream job. I'm like, I'm from Pittsburgh, and all my buddies, like, the coolest jobs that they could have is engineer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is a totally different thing.
It's so strange.
so amazing.
Kind of commonplace here. It's wild.
Yeah.
You know, like just people actually living the dream, the jobs or the thing, doing the things that they would like dream about doing as a kid.
Literally.
Happens here.
Yeah.
It's so wild. There's not many places, in my opinion, that happens.
It's so nonchalant too. Like people are just they're very chill about it. You know.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I was
thing.
on the bus the other day, and I said to Tyler, like one of my bandmates, I'm like, dude, we're on a fucking tour bus right now, and just with him, I've been on a bus for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, dude, how do we end up here? He's like,
where are we
I have
right now?
absolutely no clue.
Yeah. I know.
This thing is super nice.
Yeah.
Look
around. Yeah, exactly.
It's just a rent.
I know. We bought a new van, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like I'm sitting in it, I'm like, how did we get a private jet? How the fuck? Like, it's so nice to us. Like, our old van's beautiful, and if you guys want to see, it's like Brady drives it every day.
Maybe we'll buy
It's
it.
a beater.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's for sale.
We put 300,000 miles on it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we put the work into it. But
Do you guys have a funny punny name for your vans?
so we named the first ever van we got when we were in college. We got it on auction for $1,200. It was a salvage title.
Yeah.
It was.
Took one trip to Texas and it died in Dallas, and we had to get it like jerry rigged on the way up.
On Sunday night, like, this guy was like, it was the transmission, and we're like, we're all the way in Dallas. What are we gonna fly home with all of our gear? Pulled into the first place we found. He's like, I'm just gonna drill a bunch of holes in your catalytic converter. Hopefully that helps. Takes 4 hours. Get back on the road. It starts doing the same thing. Instantly doing the same thing. He gave me a card. Was like, if you need anything, just call me. Super nice guy. Call him. He's like, oh, just press the overdrive button or whatever it's called. And I pressed the button, and it was fine.
He got all the way to my mom's house.
26 hours
and
back
then
home.
Died the second it got home. It was crazy.
As
But
long as it got there.
Pour one out.
For
100%.
we named her Sandy the
Yeah.
first time, and then we thought to ourselves that we're gonna jinx the next one, so we might as well not name it at all. So we just call it Van.
Van.
You know.
It was just van.
I think we got her to 300,000 miles this time around. So.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, that place is like sanctuary. It's like a therapist chair. It's it's our freaking bedroom. It's our
Petri dish.
honestly. Yeah. But
Lucky for us, though, Brady's like very clean guy.
Yeah.
So like tour starts tomorrow. He's like in the van, vacuuming everything, wiping everything down.
Yeah, it looked like in the Bear where they're scraping everything out of the.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Gotta watch it, Kurt.
No, it's so good, man.
What is it on?
Hulu.
Hulu.
I don't have Hulu.
We're industry people too. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, send them the info.
I'll log in at your house, and you can at least get through the series.
That's a good one. But we got a new van now. It's like private jet. It's got bucket seats and a TV, and we put an Xbox in there. So
Yeah.
we're ready to
King
go
of the
everywhere.
castle.
But same thing. I'm like, so we sitting here. I'm like, how the fuck did we? How?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Good
So
songs.
strange.
Yeah.
Good songs.
Good songs and generous people, and I think
Sell T-shirts.
sell T-shirts.
Yeah.
and I think there's a big thing like within the music industry. A lot of people are putting a lot of their eggs in the social media game, which is important. But I do think that if you have time to put the chops in to put on a good show and be good to the fans,
Yeah.
that's gonna come back tenfold.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it's shown us like
We've never had a viral moment.
never.
We've grown every
yet.
follower. Not yet, exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing blow up on like Spotify. Nothing like that. Everything that we have right now is because we played like so many shows in the past.
Yeah,
Gigs.
playing gigs and talking to every person that we could possibly
And
talk
taking
to.
advantage of every show. And just like
we had a run of shows with Alan Stone last year in June and July, and every single show we'd go to the merch table after our set, and sometimes we'd have like 300 people in line, and it would take us 2 hours to get through them. And we
Gabe hated
every
it.
Our
tour manager hated it because it was like
he's trying to order them like, okay, everyone get in there. He's like,
he's like, can you guys stand fucking all the way over there,
Yeah,
please?
right.
You know?
But we would take our time and talk to every single person, and I think that is a testament to like where we are now and maybe our engagement with people and people that will come back every single time and buy a t-shirt every single time and buy the vinyl, you know, and that's like, you think about people that have this flash in the pan experience, good for them. But if we have people, like 1,000 people every year that buy $100, you know, in whatever, that's going to support us for, you know, as long as it needs to. And that's
support the business at least, for sure.
Compound over time, you know?
Yep. Well, and that's the key is, and I talk to this, people ask me all the time because they think I'm smart and I'm not, but they're like, what do I do? Like, how do I make this thing work? Because, you know, we host a lot of events with a lot of independent artists. And I'm like, there's two options. One is you push on the internet and you try for moments there.
Yeah,
I said the other option is get a band together. It has to be a full band.
Yep, it has to.
You got to get a full band together, and you just got to hit the road as much as you can, and then engage with those fans at every club.
Yeah.
Whether it's an opening show or whether it's your own show and you're playing to 50 people to start.
Yep.
Yeah.
At 50, if you treat them right, turns into 100 or 200 quick.
Yep. They tell their friends, and they'll get every single show after until until you guys decide to stop. We're never going to stop. But I also think that we're at a point where we're putting as much effort into our social game while we can now to sort, you know, we got to play both sides. So if we can get a viral moment and have a moment on social media, and there's no reason not to try to make it happen and do our very best to do it, you know?
Well, one of the examples I use for that is a band like Muscadine Bloodline, who has had songs that have like kind of popped on social media in their early career, and then they were doing really great, selling tickets. Yeah. But then they figured out how they could make TikTok work for them in a way that wasn't inauthentic. Right?
That's what we're it's the hardest thing.
Yes. That's the trick. Yeah.
So they, instead of like talking to the screen and like being like, hey, check out my new song, it comes out here, like that, they were basically doing like, hey, we're warming up for the show and we're going to play that. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things that popped for them.
Totally.
And then once the doors are open, it starts feeding more stuff.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
We're like we're focusing on doing like us singing. Yeah. Like that's always does the trick. We're like every like pre-show, every time like in the green room, we always sing together. Like we do Seven Bridges Road. Yeah. Like all of us sing the harmonies, and like if we don't put up the phone for it, I'm like, why didn't we put up the phone for it?
So
it misses every time. Like if we miss it, it's like
and that's the authentic version of us that I think is working so far moderately. But I also think, you know, we had one video that went sort of kind of viral on TikTok like 2 years ago. Yeah, and it was literally Jack stitched together. We just left like the pet store. We got dog food for our dog, and we were like getting in the car, and Jack was watching this video of this guy cooking a steak in the microwave and steak and fries in the microwave, and he stitched it, and he was like,
don't fucking do that.
Don't ever fucking do that. He was like, literally, it was perfect, and within like 2 minutes, there was like, I don't know, 10,000 likes on it.
Yeah, it was
views.
Crazy. It was crazy.
It kept growing, and all these people just like commenting, and, you know, that sort of stuff too. Just like the authentic, just kind of being stupid, telling a story, being yourself, because that's how Jack is. He's just like, literally just like that. So
people get super opinionated about how their steak is cooked.
Exactly.
I've noticed it on the internet. If you put it in a cold pan, people will yell at you or whatever it is. It's like if you don't cook it right, people will just like
go crazy.
Yeah, my point was like, I don't care how you like it, just not the microwave.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not
it's a crazy move. It's
There's
a
lot of pretty good ways to do it. That's not it.
Yeah.
That's why they posted it to piss you off.
Exactly. To get people.
They fucking got me, man. I let them get me. I shouldn't have let them get me.
But that's the one of the things I talk about too is like, what piece of your guys' life are you willing to give the consumers? Of course, the music's there, right? But like, what little thing of your life are you willing to share with the masses? You know, and to make it so that it's relatable.
Totally,
you know,
that's a huge part. We kind of call it pillars of our social character, I guess, is what we kind of have with our social people. But we had like this idea of like, because I like to cook, so that's one of mine. And then just other people's like interests. Like Bo, my twin, he's a gamer, right? Yeah. He he plays everything, and he's very good at them. And I think that's something that we're going to try to dive into a little bit. And with like Twitch streaming and shit like that, I feel like people would really, that's like what we're doing while we're at home.
Yes.
We want to give people like the true versions of ourselves, you know.
Well, the crazy thing about Twitch coming up now too is they're going to have licensing so you can play music on it.
There you go.
That's huge.
Which is going to change the game on Twitch. We've talked about like some Twitch streaming stuff. We haven't gotten into that world yet, but
That's
like,
cool.
Looked into like how much it costs to get all the right gear to do it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, what the formatting would look like. We've even chatted loosely with like Sony about possibly doing some content with them for
That's
their
huge.
Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Just like we host some events for them and they're like, well, would you guys do this for us too? And I'm like, yeah, you want us to cross-platform on like this and have Kurt shred on guitar? Yeah, we can do that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Strictly metal
Or
covers.
just us play Mario Kart and
Yeah.
around.
Imagine we were doing this podcast right now, but we're all playing Mario Kart on N64.
I don't think I could focus.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. And
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out the exact right lane of it, but it's cool that things like that can connect with people.
Yeah.
Totally.
So like hadn't played video games. I bought a PlayStation, I guess like the new PlayStation 5 or whatever. Like a year and a half ago maybe.
Yeah.
Just like I was like, I'm going to the bar too much. If I get this,
Yeah.
I'll probably not
Save
go to
some
the
money.
bar
Yeah.
1-2 nights a month.
Yeah.
You know, it'll pay for itself. You know? And it has, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
But I hadn't done that. And the thing that I like forgot about is the thing I enjoy about video games is playing online with my buddies. So
Yeah.
it's almost like networking with some of your friends.
It's
100%. It's
Yeah.
like the way that I explain it, because Bo got me into it now. So I have like all the shit also, and it's a like a phone call
Yeah.
for 3 hours with
Yeah.
your buddies. It's
Yep.
a three-way call. That's what, you know, it's like,
Yep.
remember back in the day, you'd be like on your house phone and everyone would call their friend.
Yes.
Just be a bunch of people on the phone. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is for
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
And girls do that and just do it. And
Yeah.
we're too cool to do that.
I know.
so we gotta-
we have to like play a game, you know?
Yeah.
I got to get on there and teabag someone on Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like,
Crazy. But I do
dance on their head. You know?
I do think you're right. Like the networking situation too. Like with the whole Twitch stream, like, you know, you could be like, hey, we're gaming with, you know, whoever from whatever band.
Yeah.
You know, he's coming on our Twitch stream. We're gonna
That's
1v1
cool.
on Call of Duty or something.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's like I've honestly, it feels like just hanging with your buddies, but it also feels like networking. Like I've met
sure.
some artists through my songwriter buddies that I play with all the time, and they're like playing with people, and I've met them virtually on there.
Yeah.
and it's kind of builds a little relationship.
And you don't have to get drunk.
Yeah, you can, but you don't have to.
You know what's really funny is we had Dalton Dover on the podcast
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
And so we were like kind of talking, and then at the end we're like, man, this was great. And we exchanged numbers. I didn't realize that he was in our Fortnite group chat.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was like, Dalton's like, yeah, I'm about to hop on. I'm like, I've been texting with this guy for how long, not even knowing it. And
Yeah.
then we did a podcast, and then it wasn't until after that podcast I realized, like, I've had this guy's number in my phone. I
Yeah.
just hadn't.
That
I
is
didn't
so
know it was
funny.
him.
That is so
Yeah.
funny.
And we just been playing Fortnite together, and then we're hanging on the podcast.
Yeah,
Small
it's
world.
it's
Yeah.
video games are one of those things. It's kind of like music. It's a great equalizer.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's funny. Like our one buddy McCoy Moore is so good at Fortnite, but it's so funny like playing
the
with him
time
because
in.
he's like uber competitive. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
Yeah.
my God.
Like
yeah.
he hates losing at it, but he's so good that you barely lose when you're on team with him.
That's so
Like
nice.
you're on my team. I pick you.
But it's kind of interesting because his personality in person, you wouldn't pick up that he would be like that
He's a
crazy.
sweetie pie.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like a
Sweetie
sweet human. But he has that thing, and if you're an artist, you have to have a little bit of that competitive nature.
The dog.
you know, for sure. You got to have that, and it just comes out so much when you play video games.
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah, you get these things on a freaking,
Yeah.
you know, little controller.
Get
You're
locked
rolling.
in.
Yeah, you're,
Yeah.
Block out the world, man.
Yeah.
No noise.
It's war paint, brother.
But that's like last night. It was my buddy's birthday, who's like a photographer for us in town.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You want to jump on Fortnite and play after the event we had?" And I was like,
Sick,
"Happy
dude.
birthday, dude! Let's go!" You know?
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah. Me and a couple buddies jumped on and played Fortnite with them.
Oh, man.
And I was like, "All right, it's not your birthday anymore. I got to go to bed."
I've never played Fortnite. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never played.
Have you
It's-
played like Call of Duty and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's pretty similar,
Similar,
right? But I
yeah.
think the building
Yeah,
thing,
I don't do that.
That shit is like complicates it so much.
They
for
have
me.
no build.
Oh,
so that's
cool,
what
cool,
I play.
cool.
Yeah,
That makes my brain do a kickflip when everyone's like, how do you
They're
build
building
that?
up
Yeah.
And they're so fast with it.
I know.
It's like some 12-year-old, you know?
Yeah,
they're just
they're
like,
way better than us.
it's crazy.
We're so screwed.
Yeah,
we're
that's what I'm like. I'm 40. I can't play like that anymore.
No.
Like I'll get on and I can like shoot someone in the face. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can't get on and build freaking walls and like govern
What do we
myself.
do?
I'm like, I'm gonna jump around and try to make you not hit me and probably die before I should. You know. It's fine.
Right, exactly.
Glory days, you're like, I'm too old to play this video game.
Yeah, I can play it, but I can't play it at that level.
That's so funny.
It's but it's basically third person Call of Duty.
Yeah,
you know.
we did like PUBG for a bit, like
Yes.
the OG like battle royale
Yeah.
stuff or whatever.
So I've got like Bo got a PC and he like built his, and it's cheaper to do it that way. So I did one. I also do like Photoshop stuff, so it made sense for me to get one.
Yeah.
And I do like all of our graphics and all that shit, so it makes it easier. But I ultimately got into the PC world, which is very, very different and like
Oh yeah.
way more in depth. There's a game called Escape from Tarkov
Okay.
that is like you can't go without water. You like if you get shot in your arm's just not existent anymore. Like there's 18 different drugs to take to fix things. You have to use certain bandages before you use a certain health upgrade to like it is
Really
crazy.
Yeah.
And like the learning curve, like they've been playing it for years and I'm like, all right, guys, let me know when you're playing like 2K whatever, because I'm like out on this. Like,
playing Madden, I'll be here.
yeah, like
I just got
is-
NCAA football.
Yeah.
College football. It's good, and I had Madden probably like when I got my PlayStation, I got the previous year version of Madden, so it's like 2 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
now. And it plays different than that, and I forgot about it, but it's been gone for so long that it's almost like a cultural thing that it's back.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
Everyone's like so
cool.
jacked about it.
Yeah,
I will say the last one, Shoelace, was on the cover, so go Blue! Shout out Michigan.
Yeah.
But it's. I mean, I'm excited to play it.
it's cool. It's
played.
fun. I haven't done it online yet. I'm like, okay, I got to get like reasonably okay at this before I like go online and get smashed by my buddies.
I never could do that. I always got just destroyed every time
Yeah.
I played like Madden online or something.
Oh yeah, that's why I won't want to play with random people. I want to play with like my buddies. So at least if I'm getting smashed, I can like shit on
Laugh.
them.
Oh yeah, do that,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I'm
it's
good at Blitz.
Yeah.
I had that on 64.
It's fun.
Kurt and I will play this game called Slay the Spire.
Oh yeah.
It's
Slay
like
the
I
Spire.
play one-player games. I don't play.
yeah,
See, yeah.
I'm in with
I'll
that,
play
dude.
Fortnite when Nick comes over.
yeah,
I'll play chess and Slay Spire. That's it.
yeah. Kurt's like we are both like nerdy growing up guys. I played sports too. Did you play sports as well?
Man, I
little
played
bit.
soccer a little bit in old school. I was in the
Nice.
marching band. So.
But I
Hell
played
yeah,
like
dude.
I have a Magic the Gathering tattoo.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
You
man.
know, so like that's but
That's
it's
why I
one of
love
the
you, Nick.
things that me and my brothers did together. you
That's
know?
cool.
Like,
Yeah.
my brother Chaz was super into Magic, and I would play Pogs.
cool.
I'm dating myself here, so I would play Pogs because I was younger. And he's like, "I'll play Pogs with you if you play Magic with me." And then our whole brothers got into it. So I'm 2 years younger than my brother Chaz, but then we have 11 and 13 years older than me.
Oh.
So we got them into it too.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
So it was something that we kind of all did, at least.
That's amazing.
Yeah, together. Like they'd come over to the house, we'd all play, or we'd go to like tournaments together.
Yeah.
And but Chaz was like our deck builder, so like he would make the deck that he'd know I could not f up.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
that was
Just
what
play
Ball
this.
Lightning
Just
was.
play this.
That's
one,
awesome.
Yeah, Ball Lightning is like a card that if I got it, I would win, and if I didn't, I was like, it was at the end, and I was like, I'm dying. You
Yeah.
know, and I would always get it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're so lucky," and I was like, "Yeah, it's true."
What is it? It's like pay 1 red mana, deal 3 damage to target creature or player.
It's 3 red mana. It's a 6/1 trample, but it dies at the end of the turn. So you can deal 6 damage in 1
Dude,
turn.
Brady, we need to get into
Here's the
this.
thing. I will
Yeah,
say,
this nerd
our
shit
friend
right here.
Jared from Wheelwright, shout out Wheelwright. He's amazing musician, but also when we had some shows with him a few years ago, he like was the first person to tell us about Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
and then we sat down and talked to him, and he started talking like that,
You don't know what it is. Yeah.
and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna, I'm out."
Send me some links, buddy.
Yeah. One day I might be
Honestly,
there
All
enough to
Lightning
get
was a
into it.
creature card?
yeah.
What?
It is it is the cool part about the game is it has strategy and it has player reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like if you're playing it online, you lose a little bit of that
Because you're not watching someone play.
Yeah, it's like poker kind of. Where
Got
you
you.
can kind of tell.
There's tells.
Yeah, so like when someone gets a good card, you can kind of see it in their face.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, you can't play it online. Like,
Yeah, you can. It's just different. But sometimes it's like how slow are they playing? So then you know they have a card in their hand where they're reactionary. So they're like, is this worth me using this card now or do I want to save it?
Damn.
So all that is built into it. So it's very strategy based. And even at the level where you're playing it online. Because right now I really don't play in person that much. Me and Kurt will play every once in a while.
The last thing you texted me was a Magic deck.
Yeah. Well,
Literally,
I need to get
so,
this.
So good.
neither of us really have cards. Like my brother Chaz has all our cards from when we were kids. So like we have a couple of these commander decks, which are just like pre-built decks, and we just play against each other.
Cool.
Nice.
But the way we do it is like Kurt has played, but not really. So like we'll talk through it while we're doing it. Like okay, so
I
here's-
played growing up, but
Yeah.
I did not play tournaments.
yeah.
I
So
was
Did
in a
you play
band.
tournaments?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like my brother Chaz.
I played shows.
My brother Chaz, when he was in college, so this is a long time ago,
Yeah.
because I was in high school, so it was probably like 98, 99. He was like ranked in the world.
Oh my god.
Holy
He
shit.
played, yeah, he played like,
We should have him on the podcast.
Yeah, you guys would have a
Magic
fun
Gathering
one, dude.
podcast now.
I wish he worked for them. So some of the dudes that he played with, there's a college in Pittsburgh, CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, and it's like really, really smart guys. They're like really big in the robotics industry
Yeah.
now, but it was always like a really hard college to get into. So he played with a lot of dudes from there. Some of those guys are now the guys that run Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards of the Coast.
That's the
just
name of the
shit.
company.
That's-
So they're like, they work at the mothership of this game.
That's fucking
And
awesome.
they've been there, they've been players since they were young. So like, that's like a dream job too.
That is fucking 100%. There you go.
So I was like,
Like,
Chaz, you should try to work for Wizards of the Coast instead of being an occupational therapist. You know, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool.
That would be way cool.
start now.
Sometimes like doing what you love is great.
Yeah,
Like playing in a band, and sometimes like working on, like it's like working at a bar. It's like sometimes it's better just to go to the bar and
Yeah.
work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Chaz can buy Magic cards with his occupational therapy line.
yeah,
That is so true though. Like we're like service industry. Like
Yeah,
when we're
I-
home,
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
and you'd always go to a restaurant and be like, man, it'd be cool to. I love this place. It'd be cool to work here. And then you're like, but do I want to ruin it for myself?
Yeah.
You know, like
That's it. And it always gets ruined every time you work at a place you think you're gonna like.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I go through that a little bit with like, I mean, I'm just a music fan forever. And then I was like, okay, let's start this blog. And then I was like, okay, now let's host some events. And now I'm like, okay, this is what I used to do for fun, and now
Yeah.
it's all work.
It's all work,
100%.
right? Yeah.
but it's still way cooler than any other work I did before. you know?
Absolutely.
yeah, there's an
So-
upside. You wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
not.
That's like you guys used to just play music because you love music. But
Yeah.
now you get to do it for freaking work.
I know.
And that's the thing. Like we're I feel like a lot of people in our position, and even people that are much further along, it just becomes this sort of mundane thing if you let it become
Yeah.
that sort of thing. You
Yeah.
know, like, fuck, I gotta fill out this questionnaire for some like online interview, or I gotta do like the Genius lyrics, which are the bane of my existence. 'Cause it's just like you have to annotate every single line. It's like
Yeah.
crazy, right?
What is that? Is that for the website?
Yeah.
So people can Google your lyrics?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can Google them, and Genius is doing a thing now. If you click on certain lines, they'll have a link to, like, you'll annotate it, so you'll say like this is where the line came from, or this is what it's intended to be,
Yeah.
like understood as.
Which is cool.
Which is
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's such a cool thing, but those sort of things can just kind of weigh on you, and then you get to a point where like, man, I got to write today. I don't really feel like writing with anybody, and
Yeah.
But I think it's just a mind thing. You got to shift
is.
your perspective. It's with anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to be doing anything regarding music in general.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the better way for us to view it, instead of thinking like, oh shit, we got so much going on. We're too busy.
Yeah.
Amen.
We're so
Being
busy.
busy
It's,
is
the
ama-
best.
It's the best.
amazing.
Way
When
better
we're-
than
when
being
we're-
too slow.
Exactly.
When we're not busy, I'm like, what are we doing? What the
Yeah.
fuck are we doing,
Yeah.
man?
Right.
Like,
You get too deep in your head at that point.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck, we're dead in the water. We have no chance anymore. But then, like last year we got off the road for 3 months, and I think we had 2 days buffer, and then we were in the studio for 3 weeks.
That's sick.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But like the day we got home from tour, we're like, fuck, we have to go to the studio. I just want to hang out with my dog.
Yeah.
I just want to I don't want to talk to anybody. But
Crush
then
beers on the front porch. Like
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then you get to the studio, and you're like, what are we complaining about? This is exactly what we wanted to fucking
The
do.
literal dream.
The literal dream. Exactly.
How do we have an issue with this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's all headspace, man.
Totally.
And that's what, like, there's things, I mean, this morning I would, like, had something that popped up and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it just, but getting to do things like this and having conversations with cool people that have great experiences too,
Right.
is such a blessing and, like, really reinvigorates me. That's why I think it's so much fun, like, specifically with having Kurt do it with me, like, having one of my best buds get to do this podcast with me. Yeah,
It's awesome, guys.
That is amazing.
It's
It's so cool.
because we just get to talk to incredibly talented people from all different parts of life.
Yeah.
that all have the same one thing in common, which is that they absolutely love music.
And it's so many different ways they've gotten there.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is the coolest thing, you know?
And we see trends, but you also see, like, the things that make it different, right? So you'll hear a lot of the same things. Like, nobody likes TikTok. Even the people that are
Yeah.
good at TikTok.
It's so funny.
Don't like TikTok.
Nobody likes it, but we
No.
all have to feed into it. It's just
Well,
strange.
And
to me.
before TikTok, it
How does that
was
work?
Everything else. You know what I mean? There
Totally.
was always something that was causing it. Was radio interviews for people.
I was going to
Yeah.
say radio
Yeah.
liners,
You know, like, oh, I got to do these radio liners, or just everything. There's always something.
You're duped
you
into
know?
thinking that it's a like a a pinnacle of the industry. Like you
Yes.
have, but it kind of is, right? You kind of
Well,
have to do it.
The
but-
key is how are you going to get your music to the right amount of ears and to the right ears, right?
Right.
And playing
the
on the
left ears.
road is yes, playing on the road is 100% that, right? But if you can get 100,000 people to see what you guys are doing,
Yeah.
so that they want to come see you on the road,
It's
and
game
that sells-
changer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sells more tickets. Like,
Yep.
we had Baker Blankenship on the pod, and he's had that song Maxed Out that's kind of like been blowing up.
Yeah.
And he's like, when I first started doing it, my dad was like, you got 400 people that like that. If you had a room full of 400 people listening to music, you'd be freaking stoked.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that
you
is-
know?
that's a way to look at it,
It
for
is.
sure.
And now it's like, if
crazy.
you can get every video to 10,000 people and they're 8,000 of them are different every time.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
That
It's
is so
amazing.
crazy.
It's just an amazing platform.
It is. It totally is. It totally
Yeah.
is. I think that we just need to find it. Jack always talks about it on our TikTok, actually, about finding our audience. You know?
Yes.
We got to find the right people that are looking, because they're looking for us. They're
They
out
are.
there looking for us.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like
I-
I got to the point I was like where, you know, everyone says like you'll be able to find your audience. Your audience is out there for you somewhere.
Yeah.
And then one day, you know, it's like we've, you know, focusing every day to post on TikTok, post something authentic
Yeah.
ourselves, and just really like honing in and taking notes on what's working, what's not, like being very analytical about it.
Yep.
And then one day I was like, I just got upset and I made a video. I was like, where is our audience? Like,
Yeah.
Where the fuck are
where
you
are
guys?
they? You know, because like I'm trying to do the right thing every
Yeah.
day to like what is supposed to be done, how to post it, what time to post it, you know? And I was like, eventually I was like, if you're out there, please let me know where to find you. Cause I will like,
will
and we
run
do
to
have an audience in some way, but like, where's the new one?
Yeah.
Where's the, yeah.
And I think one of the keys with that is like, okay, who else is the world of which you want to live in, right? Like, who are the other artists that are touring like you guys are touring, or that you've opened for, or that you've had open for you, that are doing that thing well?
Yeah.
Part of it is engaging with their content too.
Yeah.
So if Alan Stone posts something and
Yep.
you want to try to get some stuff, you guys are hilarious. Comment something hilarious on Alan Stone's post. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get some of that to come back, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
And then the algorithm also knows that you're related to Alan Stone then, because 100 people liked your comment that was hilarious on
For
that
sure.
thing.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a good point. I mean, there's always so many different tools to use. You
There
know?
is.
And I think that's something we gotta, you know, figure out within our world. I
Yeah,
guess.
and it could be road life. Like, it could be
Literally.
hey, check out this new fucking van we got.
Honestly.
You know?
Yeah.
And like be like, we don't name it, but you guys could call it something. What would you guys call
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're not gonna call it that.
Yeah.
It could be any silly things like that.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
But at the end of the day, the music has to be there, and your guys' music is there. And
Thank you.
We haven't really talked too much about that, so let's
Yeah.
talk about your most recent releases.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were saying, where's our audience?
Yeah.
What's the elevator pitch, I guess? What the people you're looking for? What's your music like, I guess, to get people in on it?
I think our music is authentic. It's raw. It's unique. it comes from somewhere deeper than just like one person, because there's the four of us involved completely on every level. And I think just the fact that me and my brother sing together just kind of brings out this almost instinctual, before we could even understand things, we have this sort of bond with each other. If people can sing well together, it kind of scratches an itch that's there.
Harmonies do.
They do,
Very
right?
much.
So, and I think we have that sort of thing to present to people that's unique.
And I think our music is about the human experience, not specific like situational things, but something that everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
That we've either gone through together, or gone through ourselves with them looking on the outside in, kind of at the situation, and experiencing that together in a sense. So I think that our music is a group love kind of thing. It's everyone can kind of relate to what is going on in our lives, because it's probably happened in yours.
Yeah.
And one thing that happened to me when I listened to your music, like I said, like the cold email, I clicked on the YouTube link to Bolt Cutter Eyes.
Yeah.
And I just immediately was like, yep. I don't know why. Awesome. I don't know. It's like it's unique, but there's a familiarity to it.
Yeah.
So where it felt fresh, but it didn't feel foreign.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in that sweet spot, which I think is really important for creatives. Because if it was like Dillinger Escape Plan or something, I'd be like, this might be a little too out, for our podcast at least.
Yeah.
Even though I would love to have Dillinger on because they're sick and I grew up listening to them. But listening to them, if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to music, go do it. Pause this right now. Just put that song on and get to the first chorus, and you'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Production's great. Like, it's super fun. It's anthemic. Big, that tune in particular, big rock sounds, wall of sound.
Yeah.
Good woes. Got some good woes.
Yeah.
Y'all are good at using the woes. And also on some of the other stuff, which we'll dive into. Also, there's some more acoustic stuff, which I think with the gorgeous harmonies, which is just beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Who do you guys work with on production, or did you work with on the stuff that you have out?
Yeah, the stuff that's out now is with a guy named Drew Long.
Yeah.
He's worked with Jude and the Lion primarily. He worked with Dave Cobb for a while at his studio. And
I know Drew.
Yeah, best guy.
Cool.
I've met him before. Yeah, I've I know the Judah guys, so I've gotten to hang with Drew before. Well, is he blonde?
Yeah.
He's blonde.
Yeah.
Beautiful hair.
Yeah, beautiful
He's
hair.
gorgeous.
He is gorgeous, man.
Gorgeous man. Cool.
Yeah.
Small town.
I know
Okay.
it is small town,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he is like
He's a genius,
he's
man.
a genius.
Like
we always kind of equate him to like our version of Rick Rubin, in a way, because he is versed in the language of music production and music and mix engineering, like all of that. He can talk about certain circuits within.
he'd be like, that pickup in that guitar won't work on the part that you're talking about because of. I'm like,
yeah, okay.
He'll go on. I'm like, all right, let's use the other one.
Yeah, right. He's so smart in that. But then he'll also be like, for trying to get the certain vocal take the right way, he'll prompt in a certain way that seems it doesn't seem like it connects to it. Like it's like not
like, why the fuck are we doing this?
Why are we doing it this way? And then you realize, like, man, like this actually fucking works so well for this. And we had this one time, this song called Babylon. We have this part in the bridge where there's this chatter like in the background, and he was like, we were in the live room at Ivy Hall, which is such a beautiful studio that we worked out of. And so the live room is actually a living room in this old English style home that's in East Nashville. And so we were all just in the living room. He's just saying, put your headphones on, turn the other way, don't face each other. I got mics around the room, and I want you guys to talk about your favorite place that you've ever been to in your whole life, and talk about it for a couple minutes. And we just started talking. We couldn't hear each other. We're just talking. Just sounds like
And then he'd be like, okay,
chatter.
tell the story about the first time your first breakup, or the first time you felt heartbroken about anything.
Yeah.
And then he did it again, like, tell me a story about the first time that you screamed at someone, and just like prompting us to tell these stories. And in the bridge of that song, you can hear like it's just a bunch of chatter, but if you listen closely, there's like some screaming going on, or there's giggling, and there's like laughing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just us too. Like, we have a really great friend, Heather Duncan, she was there, and you know, she's just kind of laughing at us being like stupid, and like it just added such a human experience vibe to the song.
Totally.
And
he had this idea of like stacking the vocals like they did for Crosby, Stills, Nash Young, like that sort of stuff, right? And like stacking to add almost this chorus effect where you up the gain, take a few steps back, up the gain again until you're like literally.
So it's like, first we're on it, then it's like
away.
6-10 feet.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that all around it. He's very smart,
cool.
and he just knows how to get the right sounds. And we can't really understand sometimes when he talks about certain things because he's so smart with it.
Yeah.
But you can tell that
we're just so stupid.
he's talking a different language to us pretty much. But it's like you can tell that it's all coming from a place of this is what makes sense for this song to get the most natural, raw, the most emotional version of it out. You know? And I think that's what kind of we've fucking loved working with him.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Is this the studio like with it's a lot of it's in the basement?
Yeah,
and
like
there's the brick
Yes.
and everything?
Yeah, so the most
That's such a vibey spot.
it's
man.
so cool that the control room
Super cool.
and then there's a live room down there, but then they actually have it wired to where you can actually in any room in the house you can plug into the Snake, even up in like the third.
Really?
Yeah, anywhere you can plug
And
in.
there's you can listen to mixes in the like front living room.
Yeah, upstairs and stuff.
There's video, like there's no sight lines, so every place has a camera that's like live
and a monitor.
and a monitor. So if you're playing piano in the front room, like upstairs, that's like opposite side of the house, there's a camera and a monitor that's hooked up to this whole like video system to where you can see Drew at the console or anyone in the room, or you can see Dalton on the drums, Brady on guitar. That's all in separate rooms in the entire house. And but it's like this older home to where you take a step and you hear the wood creak, and
it's really cool. It's really cool, man.
The lawn is so beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah.
It's unreal.
It's a gorgeous home too.
Yeah,
Super cool.
We had a great time, so it's definitely been like, we moved to Nashville and then we get to work in this fucking amazing, home studio
we're like,
situation.
We've been working out of basements, man.
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing. Also, I
Yeah.
think most of the, not most, but a lot of great songs come out of someone's home studio.
Sam Hook's first record was made in the basement for
Yeah,
like
so
$25,000, and he made $1 trillion on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Unreal.
There's no right or wrong way to do
No.
it.
Yeah.
It's just whatever helps you create your expression in the right way.
Yeah.
Having this, if you started in that room, it probably wouldn't have been as special either.
No.
Because
Exactly.
you went and did stuff in where you were in basements or wherever.
It's just like, I think the joy or the idea that it's possible anywhere too for anyone to make music. Like I know people, there's a lot of people out there that are making music that would never move to Nashville, or they would never move to LA or New York. And that's fine, because you can do it in your house. You just get amazing, and it'll work out, I'm sure. Like there's so many people that just do it that way.
Yeah. It's an interesting experience. Like, number one, to hear the music, of course, right? But
Yeah.
then to hear some of the process of how it works. I think that's what makes stuff like this podcast cool.
Absolutely. I think
to hear
people
some
are
of that exploration.
they're dying to hear like the things that made the process unique.
Yeah.
There's a song also that we recorded that we were just kind of like stuck on Seeking, and we didn't know, like, we knew the song was awesome and we loved it. We just didn't know where to take it, or how like what angle to go. Like, build in the box, everyone in the live room, like. And Drew was like, everyone go in, get on another instrument that's not yours. And like Dalton brought us sugar-free Red Bull and vodkas. And we just like,
Free, so it's good for you.
yeah, it's good for you.
I don't know.
That's what they say.
2 a.m, but
And Brady's just in like the vocal booth playing the tune. Or no, you were in the live room for this.
Yeah.
And he just had a click, and he's in there on bass. Bo's on drums. He doesn't play drums. Dalton has a full
his whole
arm,
arms covered.
just being silly. Like, he has a whole arm of tambourines.
It was so
And
strange.
just like being, I know.
I'm sure there's a video or a picture of him doing it, but he'll do
100%.
shit like that. Dalton's wild, but
Yeah. And then I'm on like a high strung and Brady's on his normal guitar and we're just singing into a live, like there's whatever mics are in the room he has on. So nothing's really plugged in. And that is the bass track for the entire song. And then we took that. It was like he played a click while we were doing it. That's the bass. Like you can hear every part of that. Like the first half of that song is Bo on drums, just like hitting it, like doing whatever he wanted to, And
it's so strange how it worked out because all of us, I wasn't on the fence as probably my favorite song off of the whatever's coming out next, and but all the other guys were just like, I don't know about this song, man. Like I don't know how we're gonna put it together as a band. It just sounds like something that you would just sing, and then we tried it out 4 different ways for like 2 days straight. Cause I'm like, I'm not giving up on this fucking song. Mm-hmm. Whatever we do, we're cutting this and we're going to put it out. And then Drew's like, all right, let's just get weird.
He just probably was sick of us fucking arguing.
Yeah. And then so
like,
he's in the control box. He's actually playing bass, but we can't really hear anything. We get out and we go back in there after we're done fucking around. He presses play and we're all just like, holy shit.
It's like, how do you feel now? Like
this is the best. What did I tell you? This is the best song in the
It's
record.
like Brady's like, master it. Like
let's put it out right.
Master it.
Yeah. No, but it turned out really well. And like that's the sort of thing that made this process of making this record so fun for us and such a unique experience. We just did so many weird and just like what would seem as stupid things.
Yeah.
But it just made
we cut a lot of those songs in his house too.
Yeah, that's
and like I remember his neighbors would have friends over like on the weekends.
Yeah.
And he'd always just open a window and put a mic there and just record it. Just like to have like background.
So
like
awesome. Yeah. It was just it's what he does. That's his fingerprint, I think, with his, because he's as much an artist as we are with music.
Yeah.
And having him be able to put his fingerprint in it just as much as we have, I think is a special thing,
Yeah.
It's something we get to share with him forever. So yeah.
It's super cool hearing things like that. And I remember like listening in Rick Rubin's book, I read and listened to it too, but he talks about like just paying attention to what's happening in the environment.
Yeah.
Because if you recorded that a day later or a week later, something would have been different,
Totally.
So you're capturing that moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
It's great. We're very lucky to have captured everything that we did.
Yeah.
We're just so excited for all this new music to come out. Like
Yeah.
we're just sitting on this freaking
Fun stuff.
yeah, just fun. It's awesome.
What about tour? So you guys said you got the new van, right?
Yeah.
we got the new van.
Yeah. What's your guys' touring schedule coming like?
So we have a bunch of dates announced already in the fall. So we have. We're good. It's already it's on our website. We're good.
Give us a nod.
Yeah.
But we're
Go buy
going.
them.
Yeah, right. Go buy them.
Please.
Yeah. So we're starting in Cincinnati, and then we're working our way all over the Midwest into the East Coast. West Coast didn't really make sense for us this time around.
Yeah.
We're just breaking into those markets, and it's expensive for us to get out there. So, but eventually, when the numbers are looking better, we're going to be out there playing as much as we can because we love playing in Seattle, specifically in LA. But
Yeah.
Nashville.
November 7th at Row 1,
Awesome.
Cannery Hall. And then we're playing big show in Detroit at the Shelter where we started everything, right? So we opened there so many times.
Yeah.
And, this is going to be like our big homecoming thing in Detroit. It's going to be amazing. We're playing New York, headlining New York for the first time
Sick.
at Mercury Lounge. It's going to be crazy.
Great.
We're going everywhere, like all of our favorite places. We're playing Columbus. Columbus has turned out to be like probably
Ohio.
one of our best markets. So
God bless Ohio.
I know. Honestly,
It's a great market for music. It really is.
It's-
Columbus specifically.
it's crazy.
It's for lovers.
Yeah.
It's for lovers.
I guess
If
so.
you didn't hear.
Is that how it goes?
I don't think it's that.
I don't think it's that. But
No, it's
That's the
crazy.
emo song, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It 100%.
It's one of those things where you have that big college town, right? Which you guys probably don't love, but
Yeah.
you got those big college towns, so you have a huge market of
Yeah.
people that are in the age where they're looking to explore for music,
Yeah.
right? And there's a gigantic population boom when college is in there.
Yes.
Totally.
But then all of those people that don't have college anymore oftentimes will stay in that city at least for a while.
For sure.
Yeah.
For their life, and that's when they start having the disposable income where they can go see shows.
Exactly.
And they're still at a point where they don't have 7 kids and they can do it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's been such a, like, Ohio in general has been such a, it was so random that it was, or that it became one of our best markets because I mean, for us, we're giant Michigan fans.
Yeah.
We're from Michigan. You're supposed to hate it.
Yeah.
And our first time, we're going into Columbus. What a bummer, like, like our dad,
Yeah.
if you heard, he's probably going to hear this, but Columbus is one of the best towns in the country.
It is.
Like, it is
Awesome.
Great food, great
beer.
people.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Dad, but it is, unfortunately.
No, it's great. It's funny too. Like, I'm from Pittsburgh, and Cleveland and Pittsburgh always have this rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're the same people.
Literally.
That's why you guys hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, we just have different football teams with different colors. It's fine.
Exactly.
No,
it's not fun.
For them,
And I'm like a Red Sox fan, and
Yeah.
then I always go see like Dave Ortiz hugging like Alex Rodriguez. I'm like,
You're like, what the fuck,
what are y'all
dude?
doing? I'm like, none of this.
We're
matters.
supposed to hate those people.
it's so funny. We had this idea. We do this festival in Ohio every year called Country Concert. We actually just did it like not last weekend, but the weekend before.
Awesome.
And it's a 3-day festival out there. We help with like the camper party, which is the night before.
Yeah.
But we were like, we should do a Michigan colored hat and an Ohio State colored hat, and then have like a tick sheet, like a score sheet, where you're like, Ohio State's up by 10 hats,
Awesome.
and like make someone buy like 20 hats to make Michigan be winning.
Yeah.
Just tally.
Yeah, we're just like how you have like the basketball score for intramural, where you're just like flipping it, like have that. And
It
we're like,
literally-
we only got 100 of each, so whoever buys them out first, is the winner.
What part of Ohio is the?
It's almost in Indiana, so it's
okay.
in like it's by Lima. It's probably like
Yeah, that's where actually we're.
Our whole family's from Lima, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Fort Loramie, Ohio.
Okay.
It's I think it's one of the longest running privately owned festivals.
Nice.
So cool.
BYOB.
Oh.
Inside.
God.
You can bring in a cooler. Yeah, Kurt loves it too. BYOB inside, and
It's the
if you
best
happen
news.
to run out of beer while you're in there, they sell Keystone Lights by the 12-pack. And it's $21 for a 12-pack inside the venue, and they'll put ice on it when you buy it.
Come on.
It's insane. They want to make it cheap enough where you don't go back out to your camper to get more beer.
Yeah.
You might just
When are
buy
we
it.
going?
Yeah, next year in July.
In July.
Yeah.
That'd be so
We'd be
That'd
down.
actually be great.
We'd be so down.
They have an Ohio stage, but they definitely don't have a Michigan stage.
we can make one. We can make one.
But really cool festival. And, dude, the Midwest, my favorite part about the Midwest is the people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Midwest nice, baby.
Bro, it's so
So
like
true.
that. It's funny, too, like getting to bring, like, Matt, my business partner. He's from New York, and then he's lived down here. And,
Yeah.
I mean, New York's New York, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, the South, there's fights at stuff
Yeah.
down here, Like,
For
we
sure.
went to Blue Room and saw a Gavin Adcock show, and there was, like, 7 fights. And we're like, yeah, this is what it's like.
It's so
It's 'cause
crazy.
it's a Gavin Adcock
That's
show.
true. Gavin's like, if y'all ain't fighting, y'all ain't drinking enough. But it's one of those things where the Midwest, everybody, Matt always says, he's like, I understand more of who you were as a person after going to country concert. He's like, you just dress like you're at this festival all year round. And I'm like, yeah, it is definitely like become a part of like who I am and my crew, and like how kind of Raise Rowdy started was like a group of friends that went to that festival.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's cool, but it's the people of Ohio are early adopters on music.
Yep.
And they're big fans, and they're supportive, and they want to buy merch.
Yep.
They do.
It's a really cool market, and we're actually going to Michigan this week, Midland,
nice.
Michigan.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're going to Tailgate and Tallboys up there.
Oh,
Let's
awesome.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've helped. So Matt, my business partner's emceed the main stage.
Yeah.
And I emceed the side stage at the Bloomington one.
Oh, great, man.
So it's super fun, and Michigan people are great too. Plus, I don't know if you guys partake, but
Yeah.
probably the best legal weed state I've ever been to.
It
I
is.
think so too. I mean, we're not huge on it, but
Yeah,
you know,
it's
I'll take a little
crazy.
puff, a little
Yeah.
baby. Only the Michigan pens will do, though. I would say.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't do the other stuff from like here. Is just kind of a little strange. You know,
Yeah.
it makes me feel a little itchy sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like. But
Well, the great
Makes
part
my
about a
eyeballs
legal
itch.
state is you kind of know what you're getting into, right?
yeah,
You're not buying
it's-
it from a random dude on the street corner,
It's like immaculate, and it's
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Yeah,
it's cheap,
reasonably priced.
relatively cheap, right?
Yeah.
So
So I'm very. They have a green room at
Nice.
this festival we're going to.
Nice.
good.
So they have the green room, but then they have the green room.
Yeah.
And we were
I don't
If
get
you
it.
didn't get it.
when we
Yeah.
were there, they had a chocolate fondue fountain that was like laced with stuff.
Dude,
Oh my God.
that would ruin my
of
fucking
brownies.
day.
That's
Well, just
crazy.
make sure you do it at the end of the night, you know?
Yes. That would ruin. I'd be like, brownies.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
Wait,
I'm
which green room
fucking.
are we in?
Is this 1 or 2? Is it green?
Like get on stage and you just start playing like Bob Marley tunes.
Yeah.
Hey,
But it's just it's so cool to get to experience like the Midwest because, dude, you have 40,000 people up there and there's like 2 fights.
Yeah.
If you had 40,000 people together in most other places, there'd be hundreds.
Someone's getting
exactly.
angry and someone's
Yeah,
getting pushed.
exactly.
It's very
Yeah.
true.
Las
I think
Vegas.
it's because
Yeah.
the whole like emo thing keep bringing up, like the whole like pop punk Midwest emos, like those growing up, like there's moshes. It's
Yeah.
you're allowed to,
Yeah.
you know, like respectfully, obviously, but like I think they all got it out of their system, probably
Yeah.
growing up or something, you know, like
Yes.
It's all about respect up there, I feel like.
It's super cool.
I miss-
Yeah, we're very
yeah.
lucky to have come up in a place like that. Michigan's music scene has been, it's really supportive. Like we grew up, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the band called Michigander.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're, we came up around the same time, and around the time we were coming up as a band, we had like 4 different promotion companies to work with to put shows on for local bands. I don't know.
everything was accessible.
So accessible.
Yeah. You
It was
know?
easy to put together, and I think that kind of has made it so that there's so many amazing bands that have come from where we're from, you know,
Yeah.
at least from either Detroit or Grand Rapids, and it's like a lot of kids got a chance to get out the shit and get better
Yeah.
quicker than others, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we're very lucky to have been a part of that sort of thing. Just like everyone's on board.
They weren't afraid to throw like the high school shit high school band on the show, like
Yeah.
to throw them a bone. Or like I remember Sundays they used to do like just like a local put on 10 kids on a Sunday, get
Yeah.
everyone out there, and they'd always do that kind of stuff, you know.
Let's see who's good. You know?
Exactly.
See who's good and see who's-
And if you see someone that's better than you, you're like, oh,
Fuck,
gotta step our game
dude,
up.
that used to
Yeah.
get me so bad. It still does.
Still
Like,
does.
if I see a show, I'm like, fuck, dude, we need to go.
I need to go home and play guitar.
I know. I need to go home. Look, we need to write
We
tomorrow.
need to-
you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
Well, that's like we've started doing these full band events at Wednesdays over at Losers in Midtown.
Sick.
Nice.
And we've done writers rounds for years, and writers rounds are awesome. But now you'll get to see bands, and it's like almost like they're competing. You know, you hear that
awesome.
battle of the bands, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's
Yeah.
definitely a thing. Like,
Well, and we so some of the bands that you saw last night, we've had play our event. So Fox and Veed, I don't know if
Okay.
you guys got to catch their set.
we came a
bit
little
later,
late.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fox and Veed played their first in-town shows with us, and we had them
sick.
on the same night as Lombardi. And if you don't know the Lombardi guys, they fucking smack.
Yeah,
live.
we missed
they
them
did.
too last night,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they smack live. They're
Yeah.
so good live. In terms of their streams to how good they are, it doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah,
like they're
that's
one of
how it
those
is
bands.
sometimes. You
Yeah.
That's
know?
how I feel about y'all and
Yeah.
Fox and all
Yeah.
these cats.
But it's like you see them, and it was crazy. Like seeing Fox and Veed watch Lombardi play, and they were like, "Oh,
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
it's great though."
It's so
good.
exciting.
Yeah,
you know?
it makes you like be like, "We gotta smash tonight."
Yeah.
you know?
100%. You get like riled up. You're like,
Yeah.
man, we got to
But-
bring our A game. In
Yes.
this. Yeah.
When we were out with Alan Stone,
Yeah.
his band, him, like vocally, like they are just
insane.
fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
So every night I'd be like, all right, time to get kicked in the nuts again. You
Yeah.
know, like we just played great, got a bunch of followers, sold a bunch of merch, and then he gets on stage he's like, well, we suck, man. We probably should wrap it up.
You
you
just
know?
sit on a stool and not do anything, and just,
Yeah.
you know, and he would just be he's just generational. I feel like a
He's
talent.
But I can almost guarantee you that he feeds off of the energy that you guys put out there too. That's how it works. It's
Absolutely.
symbiotic. It's back and forth.
You know, I will say we just got done with a few shows with the Wallflowers,
Yeah.
which was just a huge
So
honor.
crazy.
So crazy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
crazy.
Great
And
band also,
Yeah.
unreal.
So Jacob Dylan, which is just so weird to say that I've had a conversation with, or
Beers.
hung out with him in general.
yeah.
And so he's like, well, after one of the shows, we played in Carmel, Indiana, at a place called the Palladium, which is the most beautiful venue I think I've ever been to. It's so amazing. And we got done with the show, and he's like, told his tour manager, "Tell the boys I'm holding court in the bus. So have them come out after they're done packing up, and we'll hang out.
That means you have to go.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes, you gotta go.
Yeah.
yeah,
Doesn't
exactly.
matter if your girlfriend's there.
I don't,
See you
think
back
we,
at the.
I don't think we ever packed our gear up faster. But we got to the bus, and he just was saying like, "You guys are amazing." I've only been afraid to go on stage 2 times in my life. It was once when Bush opened for us at some point, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s.
Yes.
Badass.
Yeah.
He's like, they crushed it, and
Yeah,
I just didn't want to play. And he's like, tonight I felt the same way. You guys were so good tonight. I didn't want to go on stage after you because you just sounded so good together. And we were just like,
Yeah. Like,
are you fucking serious,
Thank
dude?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
But that's having folks like that is what
Yeah.
feeds you.
And at least someone being honest about it too, because he
Yeah.
could just say, oh, they're just, the opener, whatever. Like, okay, they sound good. But to have him actually have him just like tell us to come on the bus and actually say it to us and let us know that
On top of being just so kind the entire time.
Exactly.
Like, just always saying like we just got done with 3 more shows, and it's just the whole crew. Like they say, never meet your heroes thing. But like we've only ever had great experiences, and specifically with him,
with
the
him,
best
it's just
experience.
amazing. And I will say another thing. We've been talking about this idea between the social stuff and the live stuff, and we had this whole long conversation with him about that exactly. And he was just saying, all these kind of threats with music, with AI, with things only mattering online and all this stuff. He's like, but you guys see what that's like out there.
Yeah.
You can't bottle that up ever. It's never going to be a thing people can recreate ever in their lives without being there.
Live streams are not a live show.
They're not. And
They're
you'll
not.
never. You
They're
have to.
fun, but they're not a live
It's
show.
the smell. It's the rumble you feel in your chest. It's the waiting around. It's the fucking all of it. Right, meeting people.
Yeah.
You're never going to get that when you're just online all the time. And he's like, if you guys just keep focusing on these people that are here to see you,
Yeah.
and put on the best show that you can so that they are there every single time. He's like, you guys will be just fine. There's nothing to worry about with online shit. Do your best there. But he's like, you guys just need to just stay the course that way,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
Bo's on the
good.
product.
Yeah,
and the
Bo's-
product is the music.
Exactly. Bo's a big TikTok advocate and rightfully so. But I kind of like when he said that, I kind of looked at him like,
See, told you.
yeah,
You gonna tell him no?
yeah, right, exactly. But that was just like a really encouraging moment,
Yeah.
to hear that from someone that's been in the business for so long and knows the highest point pretty much that you can
Absolutely.
get to.
Yeah.
It's insane. And to even be a part of that sort of thing was just a huge honor. It's fucking wild that we could say that we played with them, And that was only like 2 weeks ago, the last time we played with them as well. So
Crazy.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was
That's
wild.
inspiring.
Yeah.
I want to start a band, dude. Nick, be in my band.
All right.
We're
I'll
gonna
play,
call
I'll
the-
You guys
play
should.
a wall of tambourines on my arm.
You should. Inspired by Dalton.
Yeah, we'll be the Brothers Rowdy.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a way better name.
We'll just
Fuck,
open up for
we're
you guys.
screwed,
and
dude.
You won't have to worry about us being as good as you because I'm not good. Kurt's really good. Though.
I'm singing. I'm like, la, la.
You gotta
You're-
come on tour with us.
Yeah. We'll just come out and hang and do TikToks for you.
You guys are already miles ahead, though. Brothers Rowdy is crazy. That's the best name
That's a
ever.
great
That
name.
does go hard, dude.
Yeah, it does. Fuck. How could we change our name?
Well, you guys can just do a concept record like that.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll just make.
I think
Kurt-
that's
we'll
what
make Kurt be the
Third.
5th member.
an idea for you. You guys should do that with all the people that you've had on this podcast.
That would be awesome.
Super group.
Super group. Oh, dude.
That'd be
Or a
insane.
record.
Build our own Temple of the Dog.
Just do it.
Come on.
Temple of the Rowdy.
Sounds like
You have to bow before you go in. Obviously.
Yeah. Bow to the gods of rock and country music.
We just have like 50 artists in the band. There'd be so many fights.
We would just get everyone with enough Surfside in them,
Yeah.
or some of the medicinal.
Yeah.
Green room.
The green room.
The green room. Everyone would be fine. Yeah,
do like a We Are the World type situation,
yeah.
be fun.
We've chatted about. So we did one song with an artist, Shelby Ray, that we had Kurt play on, and,
Cool.
and Charlie that like produces our stuff. And he does like some acoustic stuff for like Colby, A-Cuff, and Flatland Cavalry.
Awesome.
So we've chatted about doing some more of that. We'll see if it happens.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You guys know music,
fun.
I mean,
Yeah, plus I just
obviously.
make Kurt play all the time in front of me. It's like free gigs, you know?
There you go.
But the way we do it is like, well, for that one, like Shelby has half the master, and then Kurt, Charlie, and Ray's Rowdy split our half.
Oh, so cool.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like producers in on it, Kurt's in on it, we're in on it.
That's really good. That's
cool.
really, in this day and age, you hear so many deals that are just like fucked up.
Crazy. Yeah.
90-10,
Yeah.
360.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Or
I can't-
like deals where the label owns the entire thing and there's it's not even a recoupable.
That's like the
That's
like the TikTok
Yeah.
TikTok world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I honestly, I was hearing about like people who are making like records in their room, and they've never and TikTok just blew that song up, and they didn't tour before, didn't have a song out before,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Here's $500,000, we own it," and it's like, "Do you want $500,000?" Or whatever.
Yes.
Like, of course I do. And I made the song in my fucking room,
Here's
so
a
you can
house,
have it.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. But
Like,
it's
Dylan Gossett self-produced Cole,
yeah.
and he wrote it himself and played guitar on it, and it's platinum. And he did it in GarageBand.
Yeah.
Oh
Holy
my God.
But you can do that though.
You can.
There's no right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
But it's whatever.
There's not.
There's not. And it's whatever expresses you properly,
Yeah.
right? And if you're just doing it before you know what you're doing, that expresses you properly because that's where you're at that time.
Yes.
Totally.
You know?
Totally. Yeah.
So it's crazy to see stuff like that happen. My favorite thing about TikTok and other streaming services like that, like even like Instagram Reels, is I get put on to other stuff that I would have never
Yes.
heard otherwise.
Totally.
You know? And I've always kind of used like Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube for that kind of exploration. But now doom scroll feeds it to me.
I know.
You know? So like
It's just right there.
yeah, I found this band, Olive Vox, that honestly is like two kids from Cali that almost sound like Nirvana.
Sick.
It's sick.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would have never found that if it wasn't for social media.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's a different world. And you were talking about like building in GarageBand, and like that's what you know at that time is the right thing.
Yeah.
And it's like your brain gets convoluted with all of what you know. The more you learn, the less you're sure of anything,
Yeah.
especially in this business. And so I feel like the guy that you were talking about, that's
Dylan Gossett,
yeah, that's amazing that people can still just go and do and not worry about anything and just build it in their house, and just that is like ultimate musicianship, because if you're worried about what mic you're singing into and what guitar or amp or pedals or all those things matter, but ultimately we've all learned that it doesn't at the end of the day.
If
Sometimes
it sounds good,
Yeah.
and if it's what you can do, and if it's honest to yourself, then I feel like that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
The golden rule of music, it's like, yeah, if it sounds good, it's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And let Drew deal with all the other bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's
What the fuck is this? What
it's-
is this? I don't know. Charlie work.
It works.
Sounds good.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's I remember the first time. So we had Kurt jump on as a podcast co-host. I had him on as a guest. And then we were like, okay, the next one you'll co-host with me.
Nice.
And he has like, hey, I'm going to have Charlie come help us do this song. And then he was like, why don't we do a performance piece right after? And like, it wasn't even planned. We did it with all SM7s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounded fucking awesome.
Unreal.
Of course.
And we were like, what? This was in my living room in the hood in freaking Antioch? What? You know?
I mean,
But I mean, again, like some of our coolest moments happen when you're not expecting them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things that makes it beautiful.
absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like you guys, when you went into that room and he told you all to switch instruments, you had no expectations of
No.
how that was
no,
going to turn out.
not at all.
We were
But-
just being funny. Like we were just being idiots, honestly.
But that's
Play to the click.
what made it the thing.
Yeah.
You guys loosened up
Yeah.
because you did that. You were stressed out trying to make that song right.
Yeah.
And he knew how to get you out of your comfort zone, which actually put you back into your
Literally.
That's crazy.
which is cool. Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Mic
It
drop.
worked so well. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're very fortunate to have worked with a guy like that to break
Yeah.
us out of the mold of what we were used to, is like transactional production.
Yeah.
Get to the studio, got 4 days to cut 4 songs.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Get in, get out.
That
you know.
was hard though, like
Yeah.
because we were just built one way,
Yeah.
and for it to be like this, like no pressure, no time frame. I'm like, what are we doing here? We just fucking sitting here making music? Is that
some Red Bull vodkas?
Yeah, like
It was, that'll get you, loose and tight at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah. That's how I like my boys.
hell yeah.
Oh man. Well, anything else that you guys have that you want to like make sure we touch on?
So just one other thing.
Yeah.
We do have a movie that came out.
Yes.
It's called Dandelion.
Yeah.
It's in theaters right now.
So crazy.
It's in
I know,
primarily.
it's
It's
fucking
wild.
nuts.
It's in primarily AMC theaters, and then a lot of like independently owned theaters as well. It's an independent film through IFC.
Yeah.
We had this is a really good story. We moved here in December of 2021. We played our first showcase in Nashville on April 21st, I think, of the next year. And we played a showcase right before New Faces Night. And a lady by the name of Nicole Regal was there to see New Faces Night, but she got there early. And she had been looking for a band for 6 months for this movie that she'd been writing. And Jack's amp broke in the middle of our set. I had to like tell a story about the first time we were in Nashville, we got our gear stolen. And so it worked in our favor.
We got it all back, by the way.
We got it back. Nice. It was crazy. But Nicole had a bar receipt, and she had written down that story and all the songs that were captivating to her throughout our set. And she came up to me after the set, and she said, "I've been looking for you." And I said, "Okay." For what?
What did I do?
She's like, "I'm a director. I'm making a movie. I just need your information. I'm going to send you guys an email. I love your music. You're perfect for what I'm trying to make." And I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah, what you hear a lot of people say a lot of shit in Nashville, right?"
So much, bro.
Exactly. So I'm like, "We'll see what happens." She seems so nice and genuine. I'm like, "This could be really cool." We get an email 3 weeks later with the script, and she'd written us into the script. And she's like, "Yeah, we're shooting in the fall. If you guys are down, I want you in this movie. You're the perfect band. I've been looking for you guys for 6 months, and I found you yesterday on a whim, early. Came early for a show." So fast forward 6 months later, we're shooting in Covington, Kentucky, and fast forward to 2 weeks ago, it came out everywhere. It's in 500 theaters across the country.
So amazing.
Yeah, it's wild. And we're cast as ourselves, as brother Elsey. It stars Thomas Doherty, Kiki Lane. They fall in love with each other. They're musicians, and we're like the band of that Thomas is a part of, in the movie. And we had to act, and we're not very good, but we tried our best. So,
rock
So cool.
or not to rock.
exactly.
We had to rock.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about moments, right?
Yeah.
And talk about viral moments or platforms that you can kind of use to like help. That can be the thing.
Yeah.
Right? So opportunities like that come from you guys kicking ass and playing those showcases.
Yeah,
right?
it's strange. I mean, that, like I said, you have these moments where if you jump too soon, you kind of miss it because you're not ready for it. And I think we were at the perfect moment for all the shows that we played in Nashville so far have been meaningful in those ways. We met people that have kind of changed the trajectory of our band so much quicker than before. And I think that was the start of it, and that was a huge moment for us. Like, we just kind of got a gift from the universe, like an angel just kind of just fucking showed up, you know. And she decided to take a chance on us, and it definitely guided our trajectory in the perfect way. Right when we moved here, to open a lot more doors for us within the industry, and to make things more solid for us, and to also give us a little bit more of like, we're good at this.
Like
we
personally,
deserve it,
personally, like holy
Right,
fuck,
exactly.
like believe in yourself.
Right.
More.
It was like, man, like, okay, it all makes sense now. All this bullshit that we put ourselves through, the fucking, zeroed out bank accounts and the fucking, driving to fucking South Carolina for $70, we're putting music out where people don't really listen to it. It all makes sense. It's all for these moments that are just compounding over time to make it worth our while and to make it worth everyone else's while that believed in us right away. And for the people that haven't heard us yet, they're going to be able to eventually because it's just on that track.
Yeah.
There,
It's just the start now. Like
Exactly.
we get to a milestone. It's like, well, this is just the beginning. Then we get to the next milestone. It's like, well, now it's just starting. And I think that it's like a beautiful thing to kind of always think that way.
Totally,
like
totally.
it's whatever's to come. It's just the beginning of it.
Yeah. and it keeps it fresh and it keeps it important in your head, right?
Yeah.
I like to live life that way too. You know, where you're like, we're just getting started.
Exactly, and that's how it feels. You know, we just signed our first record deal, and we have a lot of new music on the way, and it's just the beginning of what is going to be. What we always say, even within our team, with our managers and everything, we're not here to make money right away. We're here for a generational career where we can go for decades, and fans will be there either way, rain or shine. They're going to be there and buy the T-shirts, buy the records, and sing every song with us because we're making music that isn't just for the moment. It's for, you know, it's for what's going to span for a very long time.
Yeah.
With us, you know?
Till the wheels fall off is what
That's
we
what
really
we always say, till the wheels fall off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man. It's been such a great opportunity to get to know you guys a little bit.
For sure, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
The movies, Nick.
Yeah, we got to go.
I wonder where
here in town.
It is, yeah. If you go to it's the Regals in town, so you can go to see.
Her last name was Regal. I know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the Regal theaters, and then AMC's like the bigger ones. So the small one at Antioch isn't showing it. I live right by. It's kind of sad. I had to drive somewhere else. But like the Thoroughbred in Franklin, the Bellevue one. If you guys have a moment to go see it, I think it's a beautiful film. It's emotional and great music in it too. So
your music.
Yeah. Our music, we got
Dandelion out everywhere.
Everywhere. Check it out.
Movie theaters.
Yeah. I just fucked up.
No, that's why we edit in post.
That's God. Yeah, and then we got our fall tour coming up. It's going to be massive for us. Biggest tour we've done. Headlining tour. It's going to be. It's selling really well so far, and it's only going to get better by the time we get closer.
Who's open for y'all?
TBD. We got a couple people in mind.
Got it.
Yeah. Bruce Springsteen.
But we're excited about announcing some openers here pretty soon as well.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, very excited.
Well, appreciate y'all coming in and
for sure
chatting with us.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. Thank you so much.
We're gonna have to get to that Nashville show too.
That'd be awesome. Let us know. We'll put you guys on the list and come check us out, man.
And any of the rounds or the shows that y'all are doing, we'd love to be on. Just let us know.
Once you guys don't have another pending Nashville date, we'd love to have you hop on one.
That'd be great. Absolutely.
Writers round style, torn down acoustic, however you want to do it.
I love it.
Cool.
We're versatile.
Slam.
Yeah, full band.
We could full band slammer too.
Yeah.
Man.
Love that.
It's
idea.
fun to do it at Losers because it's like it reminds you of every shitty honky tonk in the world.
Yeah.
Love
it's
it.
just like our one in town.
We haven't played there yet, so we're we're ready to do it.
That'd be great
for sure, man.
Well, thank you guys so much for popping on here and talking out with us. This is one of my favorite ones we've done.
This is good, dude. Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, inspiring and cool, and I think it gives a good idea to people that don't know you guys or do know you guys about like who you guys are as people and how genuine the music is, but also how genuine you guys are.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping on.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
This is great.
Awesome. Well, I'm Nicky T.
I'm Kurt Ozan.
And we'll see you in the
front row.